Carolina is where the road odyssey comes to an end tonight for the Anaheim Ducks. As for the second time in 9 days, they take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And despite 3 consecutive losses, one in a shootout, Anaheim still comfortably atop the Pacific Division, holding an 11-point lead going into tonight's game. And the Hurricanes out of the playoff picture, still with only 1 loss in their last 8 games in regulation, playing some of their best hockey of the season. Hi again, everybody. Along with Brian Hayward, I'm John Allers. Glad to have you along. A chance tonight, Brian, despite the last 3 games, to go 500 on this road trip if Anaheim can get a victory, and they get a little healthy coming into this one as well.
And the good news is, I think, for Bruce Boudreau, is he gets 2 of his more defensively responsible players back. Hampus Lindholm is back in. Jakob Silfverberg is back in as well. And there's a new face as the starting goaltender for the Anaheim Ducks. So it's time for Guts and Glory, brought to you by Ram Trucks. And, of course, we are talking about John Gibson this season with Norfolk, who was having a wonderful year and won his last 3 games. His last start was a shutout. We know with Gibson, the Ducks have an incredible goaltending prospect, one of the more athletic netminders that you will see playing in the game today. And this is a great moment for John Gibson because it's been a real frustrating year for him with injuries and illness. But when you look at the numbers for the Ducks goaltenders so far on this trip, well, the goals against, not great for Freddie Anderson before he left that game in Tampa. Ilya Bryzgalov cannot win. He just can't seem to get over the hump and put together back-to-back solid performances. And so now we've got John Gibson with an opportunity here to re-establish himself, I think, as one of the 2 netminders in Anaheim.
Well, we mentioned it's the second meeting in 9 days between these 2 teams. It was back at Honda Center on February the 3rd. One of those overtime losses in the last 8 games for the Canes. A game Carolina, Brian, thinks they should have won in regulation.
Well, did we pick it up in the 3rd period? They had a 4-2 lead. Spit Kelly brought the Ducks back to within 1, and then Corey Perry late, as he has done so many times before. We're tied up, sent it into overtime, and then a beautiful little give-and-go play involving Perry and the captain, Ryan Getzlaf. An exciting come-from-behind win for the Ducks. We've seen an awful lot of them this season. I think, however, the focus from an Anaheim perspective tonight is on this opening period tonight. They've been getting themselves in so much trouble by falling behind in games. Had a real tough practice yesterday. They want to make sure that the first 20 minutes of this hockey game tonight is their best 20 that they've played in a long time.
Well, this matchup brings a matchup with 2 of the preeminent goal scorers over the last decade in the National Hockey League. Tonight's Mercedes-Benz Star Watch. Casey, a couple of big wingers, seems strange to say about Eric Staal.
Yeah, it's true. Eric Staal is a dynamic player, and he's more of a power forward, a pure power forward than Corey Perry. He'll bring the puck right into the crease. Got a great slap shot. Corey Perry, with this 7-game consecutive scoring streak against the Carolina Hurricanes, that's the longest of his career against any other opponent. So there's no question he loves playing against the Canes, and he would love to keep it rolling tonight.
Well, the Canes don't like to see Corey Perry. As you saw, though, from those numbers, he licks his chops when he goes up against Carolina. And the Ducks hope that he stays hot against tonight's opponent because it could salvage a 500 road trip if they can get 2 points at PNC Arena here tonight. The opening face-off from Carolina is next. Anaheim Ducks hockey is brought to you by Hyundai. The presidential size sale event is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. We come inside PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina, and as the lights come up, we're just about set to go for tonight's game between the Anaheim Ducks and Carolina Hurricanes. Second and final meeting of the year between these 2 clubs. And time for tonight's Keys to the Game, Brian, is brought to you by Honda.
A great deal of time in yesterday's practice was spent on cleaning up how the Ducks defend in the neutral zone. The easiest way to deal with oncoming rushes is to put some rules on your centerman, your 3rd man high, and say, stay very high. It's easier to recognize what the other team is trying to do. The Ducks need to get back to really establishing their identity as a forechecking team. They have got away from that in the last few games. A very important game tonight for John Gibson with Freddie Anderson on injury reserve and not eligible for the next home game against the Washington Capitals. Gibson knows if he plays well and wins, he'll start against the Caps when the Ducks get back to Honda Center.
First start for Gibson since the 30th of October for the Ducks, that is, when he started at St. Louis against the Blues. The referees for tonight's game are Justin St. Pierre and Brad Watson. The linesmen are Brad Lazarowich and Matt McPherson. We're underway, and Anaheim goes to work in the Carolina zone. The Canes in their home reds with white numbers, the Ducks in the road whites. And here comes Brett Belmore to center. He throws it around the boards in behind the Anaheim goal. After it goes Malone. Brad Malone can't get a stick on it, and Raquel throws it cross ice back into the Carolina zone.
We've talked a lot about this line for the Hurricanes. It's actually their fourth line. Malone, McClement, and Dwyer. But boy, Bill Peters has not been able to say enough good things about the performance as of late. He's comfortable playing them against virtually anyone. And he has the Canes playing well. 5-1-2 in their last 8 games and feeling very, very comfortable about how they are playing right now.
Off the draw, they control, and Sekera serves it over. Justin Falk with a drive off the shoulder of Gibson. Sekera throws it wide on the rebound as it came all the way back to him. Falk sneaks up the boards but can't get it into the middle, and Jakob Silfverberg back in the Anaheim lineup tonight, as Brian mentioned at the top of the show. That was the first game he had missed all season when he was out at Florida 2 nights ago due to the flu. Puck dump back in around the boards behind Gibson, and Anaheim will reverse it away from pressure. Top line out on the ice for both teams. And the center, Pat Maroon, drops it off. Getzlaf picks it up, and Sammy Vatanen joins the rush. Nudges it ahead to Corey Perry. Comes to the near circle and has his shot disrupted by Sekera. It goes wide. Vatanen retreats at neutral ice for the Ducks. They get onside, and Perry serves it back in. First touch of the night for Cam Ward.
And one of the things that Anaheim has got to do a better job of, those dump-in shots. Keep them away from the goaltender. They've been a little bit guilty as of late of allowing the opposing goaltender to handle the puck. Cam Ward's not a goaltender that you think about that really can shoot the puck hard, but he's a smart goaltender. Handles it well, sets it up for his defenseman. So extra diligence needs to be applied to keep the puck away from Ward.
Hard to believe now in his 10th season, Cam Ward, he didn't start 9 days ago at Honda Centers. It was Anton Hudobin who got the nod for Bill Peters' club. Puck around the boards kept in by John Michael Lyles as he drives all the way below the hash mark to keep it alive. And now Bolesky comes up with it, tries to go into the middle of the ice. Palmieri gets enough of it to get it out center ice. Lifted into the Anaheim zone, and Francois Beauchemin plays it ahead. Palmieri denied at the line. 7 shots on goal in that game on Tuesday at Florida for Kyle Palmieri. It was the first time all season in which he scored a goal and the Ducks have lost in regulation. Bolesky rims it around and in, and Ward plays it back very nearly, gave it away to Ryan Kessler. Kessler keeps it alive. Bolesky's shot, and that knocks the helmet off of Cam Ward, and that brings an immediate stoppage of play.
They didn't waste any time. Matt Bolesky rips it, and this is a square-on shot off of the forehead. Goaltending masks are designed so that there are no flat surfaces on the helmet, and so every shot is pretty much a glancing blow, except when it hits you right between the eyes and about 2.5 inches higher than that, right in the middle of the forehead. Cam Ward will have felt that a little bit.
Yeah, the former Red Deer Rebel just shook the helmet off immediately so as to help the officials to know that he got hit right in the mind. Now the face-off will be to his left. Nate Thompson steps in and battles the draw back. Lovejoy slides it over for Cam Fowler. This defensive duo reunited tonight as Eric Brewer is the healthy scratch on the Anaheim blue line. Fowler into his own zone, pressured to the corner. Thompson lays a hit there on Patrick Dwyer. Chopped, it goes straight up in the air as Hainsey activated from the point. Jackman sweeps it away and Fowler gets to it. Puts it up on the glass on the backhand, and Anaheim able to escape the zone. Jackman with a little touch pass from Thompson gets it to Lovejoy, who joins the rush. And from the left side, the right-hand shooting defenseman rims it hard around. Anaheim changing on defense, and now Smith-Pelly with a little cycle play from Jackman to the point. Stoner can't settle it, and now he's pressured back at neutral ice. Smith-Pelly trying to get to the bench for a change. Instead, had to play a little defense on Patrick Dwyer. And he dumps it into the Anaheim bench, and then it came back onto the ice surface.
No, the other thing that Bruce Boudreau has done in this game is that he's gone back and put together some similar lines that are familiar playing with one another, defense pairings. We see Lovejoy with Fowler tonight. And I think the feeling was, look, when we are kind of scrambling a little bit on the defensive side of the puck, let's get a little bit more consistency with the lines and the deep pairings and see if that helps.
Icing is the call against the Ducks. Face-off will come back into the Anaheim zone.
A vigorous practice yesterday. A lot of coaching going on. Primarily focused on defensive zone responsibilities. And you might think, oh boy, it's a little late in the season to be thinking about that. But it's never bad to give your team a refresher. And certainly he had their full attention yesterday.
A lot of crossing of the T's and dotting of the I's, if you will. And one of the things he said he talked to his team about again was that he addressed the penalty situation. Remember back around the first of the year, he told us that that was addressed after a little bit of a meltdown against San Jose on the New Year's Eve game. He did not expect to have the conversation again, but 6 weeks later, it was part of the reminders that were given to the team yesterday.
Defensive zone coverage is about discipline. Taking bad penalties is about discipline. They're really very similar, quite honestly.
Victor Rask gets one through, and it's reeled back in as Gibson took it off the right pad, and there was a precarious couple of seconds before he found the puck.
Gleason joining the attack, driving the center lane. Rask buys a little time, spots him down the middle. John Gibson, no problem there. And the key for Gibson, getting your body as close to Gleason as you possibly can so that he cannot elevate that puck up and over your pad. So a good read is what I will characterize that save as for Gibson.
Gleason, the 11-year man, former Windsor Spitfire, looking for his second goal of the season there. Now it's a shot by Sekera that's blocked, and back come the Ducks. They bust into the Carolina zone, give and go with Maroon and Perry, and Maroon's backhand denied by Justin Falk, who was in good defensive position.
And Pat Maroon got a real good hit on Jordan Staal in the defensive zone, and that's another thing that you want to do against the Staal brothers. When you get the opportunity, really lay the body on them, if you can, in their defensive zone and prevent them from getting back into the play quickly.
No score. We played just over 4.5 minutes now here in Carolina, and it's Eric Staal who brings it into the Anaheim zone. Pulls up in the corner for brother Jordan in front. It's off the heel of his stick and right to Pat Maroon. Maroon stick handles through the neutral zone, but finally Brett Belmore takes it away from him. Belmore, the plus-minus leader for the Hurricanes this season, and he did not play 9 days ago at Honda Center either. Palmieri starts up ice, but he left the puck behind, has to come back and get it. Now Lovejoy forced deep in his own zone along with Fowler. The outlet off the stick of Kessler and bounces all the way through Palmieri at center. Ron Hainsey curls it over. The return pass misses. Hainsey forces Cam Ward to play the puck. Ward, a winner in each of his last 2 starts, appearing for the 36th time this season in goal for the Hurricanes. The other end, it's John Gibson's 6th game for the Ducks this year. Good bump by Kessler as he knocked down Alexander Semin. Semin continues to pressure the puck. The Ducks will try to clear up the near side. It squirts right back to Semin. Swept off his stick, but Nathan Gerby keeps it alive. Gerby throws it to the net. That's blocked, and a big rebound. Semin comes up with it, but he can't pull the trigger. Anaheim will get changes as it's cleared back, and Andre Sekera will send it around. Clayton Stoner is there. Despite the outcome of the last 2 games, Clayton Stoner has been a +2 in those games for Anaheim. He's out with Sammy Vatanen right now as the puck comes off the end boards. Gibson wasn't able to cover it, and now Vatanen leads it ahead off the left wing boards.
I've been impressed with the pressure that this line has been getting. Good stop there.
Thompson comes up with it. Oh, and Jackman got it across to him, and he just misfired. He had an entire net to shoot at. Malone bumped into the linesman in the neutral zone by Thompson, and the two of them both slow to get up as play comes back the other way. Vatanen throws it into the Carolina zone off the stick of Jackman, who pursues, but the Canes move it away from the pressure. And now up the far wing, John Michael Lyles. And he just flat out has it taken off his stick by Ricard Raquel. Nice play there by Raquel. Plays it across. Beauchemin returns the favor, and Raquel sweeps it in on the backhand. Cam Ward is there to play it. 13-10 to go in a scoreless first period in Raleigh. Glad to have you along on a Thursday night. The Ducks will make the long trek cross country after this one. Here's Rask, set up by Skinner, and a good save by Gibson. Raquel brings it back, sent out by Cogliano, and he puts it on right wing for Jakob Silfverberg. Silfverberg hits the brakes in the corner, given a rough ride by Sekera, who quickly moves it ahead to Skinner. Knocked off his stick, and a nice defensive play in the neutral zone by Lovejoy.
Yeah, it certainly was, and Jeff Skinner is a dangerous player in that he has that great balance on his skates. And boy, if you can keep the gaps tight on him in the neutral zone, it's so important.
Maroon gets it deep. Long reach of Corey Perry, gets a stick on it. It trickles out high in the zone, and Fowler able to track it down. Puts it up on the boards. It squirts through Perry and behind the goal and comes to the near hash mark. Maroon takes a swat at it. So does Eric Stahl, who now pokes it into the middle of the ice. And Justin Falk leads the Canes the other way. Yuri Talusti across the line, gets it back from Jordan Stahl. Wide open is Eric, and the pass off his stick.
Fourth man into the rush again for Carolina becomes dangerous as Perry and Maroon get caught up ice.
Talusti finds Falk, and his pass across vacates the zone. Sekera forced to retreat as the Canes get onside. A good pace in the early going and not a whole lot of whistles. We're over 8 minutes in. No score in Carolina. Simmons spun around, but Sekera there to cover up. His pass at center broken up. Palmieri tried to stay on side while Bolesky came back across the stripe, but he's unsuccessful. No score early on in Carolina.
A scoreless game. I want to show you how the fourth man in on the attack has created issues for the Ducks. Two Anaheim forwards caught deep here. Justin Falk is the defender, and watch how he joins the rush. Gets the puck, dishes it off, and then he gets on his horse, and now he's into the play, and he's ahead of both Perry and the other line mate, Maroon. Eventually, the Canes are attacking 4-on-3. They almost create a grade A scoring opportunity. The pass was just a little off, but that fourth man in on the attack has really been a problem for Anaheim on this road trip. And guess what? Everybody watches a ton of video. And so the other teams are looking at that, and they're saying, you know, you defenders that can really skate, when you have the opportunity, you see those two wingers trapped deep, go.
And the guy who had the opportunity, Eric Stahl, he's only got 10 goals in his last 18 games. Not the guy you want to leave alone in front. Here's a giveaway by the Canes, and Botman holds it in. Nice pass across. Kessler lets it go, and getting enough of it was Ward trying to get it back on goal. Bolesky, only to have it blocked. Puck lobbed out of harm's way by Victor Rask, and Skinner all over Stoner. Botman will use the base of the dasher to find Bolesky. He has time and space. Rockets it across the zone, taken off the glass. Back come the Ducks. Jackman at the line, lays it back. And it's Nate Thompson, sidesteps a hit and puts it behind the net where Jackman crashes in after it.
And that was Belmore that took a run at Nate Thompson there. Did not miss by much. Thompson just got his head up at the last second.
Nate's got the puck again, trying to reverse in the corner, pokes it back. Smith-Pelly finds an open Boschman at the point, and he angles it off the boards. It rolls up the back of the net. Thompson able to take it off the back of the goal, only to have it taken away there by Jay McClement. McClement ahead to Ron Hainsey, who will join the rush, gets center red, hard around and in. Gibson stays put. Hampus Lindholm lets it go. Nice little move as Smith-Pelly exits the zone. Raquel got it to him, followed up, but couldn't get past center red. Jordan Stahl lays it back, and now Tim Gleason handles it. Second tour of duty for Gleason here in Carolina. After being bought out by the Toronto Maple Leafs last season, he returned to Carolina. Talusti went to the front of the net, but the shot went off the skate of Francois Beauchemin. Back come the Ducks. Three abreast at center, but the pass on the wing was behind Silverberg and quickly brought back the other way. Eric Stahl uses his body to control the puck and keep it alive, then fires a one-timer that is deflected out of play. 10.5 gone. Shots are 7-3. Score.
Good look at Eric Stahl, a part of that 2003 draft class, which we've talked about this many times, maybe the greatest amateur draft class of all time. Stahl has more points than anyone. Ryan Getzlaf, number 2 on the list in terms of the points he's generated since he joined the NHL. Corey Perry is right there as well.
Stahl with 17 goals, the leading goal scorer again this season here in Carolina. His brother Jordan wins the draw from Getzlaf, only to have it blocked, and then Getzlaf with a alley-oop pass all the way back into Carolina ice. Maroon gets to it as Falk didn't get a clean swipe at it. Perry got a shoulder inside on Sekera, and now Maroon joins the cycle all the way back to the point. Fowler on his horse, able to keep it in, and he'll angle it across to the open corner. Perry behind the net finds Maroon. Pat Maroon to the point. Lovejoy did not hold it in. So offside is the call. Well, stay with us. You can enjoy a cold one throughout tonight's game, but we'll offer one up for you in the third period. It is called Miller Time, brought to you by our friends at Miller Lite, and look back on one of the key moments in tonight's hockey game.
This is going to be now 6 consecutive seasons that the Hurricanes have not been part of the postseason. And it's funny, John, you watch them play, and they sure look like a team that is a pretty darn good hockey team. And I know Jordan Staal, and losing him and not having the depth to survive that was devastating for them early in the year, and the goaltending was not terrific in the early going. But I tell you what, in the games against Anaheim, they have played a real disciplined, structured game. Bill Peters has been playing very, very well here in the late stages.
Well, they had a wonderful month of January. Despite giving up that 2-goal lead in the third period at Honda Center, they went on to win at Arizona and San Jose, getting 5 of a possible 6 points in that Western Road swing. Jackman comes up with it and storms into the Carolina zone, tries to bring it to the front of the net and goes right over Cam Ward into the Carolina goal. Well, Ward did well to avoid the big man. Jackman gets onside and can't catch up with the puck as Justin Falk plays it back.
I don't know if you can actually say that he avoided it.
Oh, he didn't get hit by it. He ducked him.
Take a look at it.
He ducked him. Postma from behind the Anaheim goal serves it over to Lindholm. Hampus back in the lineup after missing in Florida with that lower body injury. Just the second game he's missed all year. Canes bring it back, and a nice glove save by Gibson on the Victor Rask bid.
Let's go back to Tim Jackman aggressively attacking the net. And Ward avoiding contact. Drops the right shoulder. He actually got a good piece of the hip of Tim Jackman there. It was a good play by Ward. Did not bail out. And that's what I always watch for when you got those big power forwards bearing down on the goal crease.
I think it was great recognition by Jackman as well. He knew Alexander Semin, a forward, was defending on him, so he just took it hard to the net. Back come the Canes, and this one's off the post. The third man in on a good feed by Staal in front. Talusti thought he had scored. Very nearly had his arms raised, but it comes off the post and play goes on. Back come the Ducks. Maroon, a little hesitation move on the right boards. Puts a shoulder to Talusti, shakes him off and gives it back to Lovejoy at the point. He rims it hard around. Sekera is there. And leaning on him is Maroon. Perry waiting for it to squirt loose, but it comes to Jiri Talusti. Talusti signed a 1-year deal in the offseason, and now he's on the top line with the Staal brothers here. Cogliano pokes it into the middle of the ice. Anaheim in mid-change here. Lovejoy reads that, gets it deep.
My theory is that they are really showcasing Jiri Talusti, playing him with the Staals, hoping that they can extract a future asset from a playoff team here prior to March 2nd.
Czech native who started his career with the Toronto Maple Leafs before coming here to Carolina. Brad Malone digs it off the end boards in the Anaheim zone, feeds it out to John Michael Lyles. Lyles a good story here. He split last season, I should say, between the Toronto Marlies of the American League and the Maple Leafs before coming to Carolina. And he's played his way back into a regular role here at the NHL level. He'll take the shot, only have it blocked by Cogliano, who goes down and loses his stick, has to go back and get it, and he's hobbled as he goes straight to the Anaheim bench.
It took it right off the top of the foot, and now whenever I see that, John, I think, thank goodness the players are wearing those plastic sheaths that cover their skates, because, boy, you could take one right off the top of your foot with no additional protection, and there's a real good chance you could have a broken bone.
Gillespie serves it on the wing, and offside is Palmieri, who can't believe the call. Still no score in Carolina. 5:39 left in the opening frame.
Now there's a good look at Jiri Talusti, due to become an unrestricted free agent. Here's the play. A turnover by Corey Perry in the neutral zone. Ben Lovejoy's going the opposite way, and so again it's an outnumbered attack. Talusti, the late man coming in, snaps that off the crossbar. The block shot by Andrew Cogliano and John Michael Lyles. You saw it go right off the top of the left skate. And during our television timeout, good to see Andrew Cogliano taking a little twirl, making sure that he can put his full weight on that foot. Players won't take their skate off unless they can't put any weight on the foot. Because once you take the skate off, it starts to swell a little bit, create some issues.
596th consecutive game played tonight for Andrew Cogliano, the NHL's Iron Man. 5:20 to go in a scoreless first period in Carolina, and trying to split the D with a pass for Kessler was Boschman, went right on goal, so Ward forced to play on, and now the Ducks get onside.
If that pass is on the tape, Kessler's in alone on a breakaway. He had a lane there.
Elias Lindholm dumps it in, and Hampus Lindholm sends it back the other way. No relations.
It's like Smith over in Sweden.
Yeah, you're right. Good to see Hampus back. And he moves it around. Boschman looking for Getzlaf, taken away. Here's Andrej Sekera, taken back by Getzlaf, but covering the point is Tulosti. Carries across the zone, hands it back, and Belmore's shot missed everything. I don't know if Gibson ever saw it. Pardon me, it's Justin Falk who took the shot. Maroon beats Falk to it at the far hash mark and finds an open Francois Boschman. Perry open up the wing, gets center red. Ward stays put as he rims it hard around and in. Eric Stahl drops down to support, and ahead for Tulosti. Eighth-year man unable to connect with Jordan Stahl. Kane's changing, and it's a long pass from Fowler to Perry. He tees it up, and it's blockered out of play by Cam Ward. Coming up tonight on Fox Sports Live, 9 NHL games in action. We'll have the highlights from all of those games, including one like you've never seen before. We'll take you to Chicago, where LeBron James closes the first half of the NBA season, taking on the Bulls, and a major announcement by one of the biggest sports organizations on the planet. Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Bill Peters was asked this morning if he was going to talk about squandering that 2-goal lead in Anaheim. He said, no way, we have moved on. We're playing real well right now. And I'm very happy with the way my guys have responded. He also mentioned that the coaches like him in the situation he's in, where his team's not going to make the playoffs, if they address the trade deadline at all. And he said, no, as a coach, you don't talk about the trade deadline. That's not my responsibility to do that.
Patrick Dwyer from behind the Anaheim net got an initial bid off the stick of Gibson and then swatted another rebound on goal. In the meantime, Brad Malone was in the goal crease. He was actually behind John Gibson as he was pushed in by Ben Lovejoy. Ron Hainsey, the 12-year veteran, plays it back, and Nathan Gerbe careful with it. The Canes changing, and now here comes Gerbe. Speeds in on his off wing. Got to the front of the net. Stick saved by Gibson. Well, Gerbe, I would say, dipped his shoulder to go under the arm of Clayton Stoner, but I think he just skated right under him.
He does not have to do that. He is quick. He is lightning fast, for sure.
5'5" Nathan Gerbe and 6'4" Clayton Stoner literally went right through him. Now it's Vatanen. 4 points in the last 5 games for Sammy, but his pass picked off at center, then he falls down. It's Gerbe again. Tries to make a pass into the slot, and Semin can't handle it cleanly. Lyles comes in off the wing, and from a bad angle, it's in the glove of Gibson.
John Gibson has been solid here in the opening period. 10 shots on goal. We're going to play with a goal stick here. It's just a little technical thing, but a real technically proficient play keeps the puck away from the front of the goal crease. Here's Gerbe getting around Clayton Stoner. Those wheels are turning, aren't they?
Gerbe's made a nice way for himself in the NHL. Now in his 7th year out of Oxford, Michigan. Played at the U.S. development program before going to Boston College. You know my contention, Brian. If they list him at 5'5", he's probably 5'3". That's hockey height.
There's no way he's 5'3". There is no way.
Off the boards, Kessler trying to get to it, and he tries to get inside. Got a shot away, and he drew a penalty. And the Canes are going to go shorthanded. The game's first penalty nearly 18 minutes in here.
The Carolina Hurricanes, John Michael Lyles is claiming that it should have been a penalty against Ryan Kessler. And it is going to be a penalty against Ryan Kessler.
Well, they waited until Carolina touched the puck. That was odd to me.
Well, here's Kessler. Let's see. I don't know about that one. That's a tough call, quite honestly.
Well, what threw me is they let
you know what? There's contact on the hands. That's a better look right there. There's contact on the hands of John Michael Lyles, and then it results in a scoring chance. And that's why the official makes that call, and it is the correct call.
So a face-off in the Anaheim zone, just over 2 minutes to go in the period. 17:55 time of the penalty. And Carolina unable to get the shot through as Lindholm, a little friendly fire, hit Eric Staal with that bid. Hurricanes were 0 for 4 back at Honda Center on the 3rd of February against Anaheim in that 5-4 overtime loss to the Ducks. They've outshot Anaheim 10-4 to this point, and the Ducks will clear. Ward had to be careful with that when it was skipping all the way. Justin Falk leads this team with 11 power play points. 7 of those are assists. He brings it to center and puts it up on the glass and in. Around, Victor Rask tries to seal it off. Eric Staal supports. Up the wall it comes to Falk, who will hold the zone. Victor Rask, an impressive-looking rookie, gives it to Staal, and he puts it right into the middle. Tulosti's shot turned away by Gibson.
Point blank. Big space there for Tulosti.
He finds an open Justin Falk, and that shot blocked. Comes back to the slot. Tulosti, who leads this team with half a dozen power play goals, keeps it alive, however. Back to the right point, and now under a minute to play in the period as Justin Falk holds the zone. Duck penalty killers would love to get a change. It's passed right into the goal crease. Gibson can't smother it, however. Recovered again, and Staal fans in the slot, unable to clear his Cogliano, hitting it by Falk. Over for Victor Rask. His shot fought off by Gibson. And Anaheim will clear. Silverberg does the honors.
Well, Gibson's the story here in the opening period. I mean, that was a difficult save. He had to look all the way around his defender and reach to get a glove on that shot. Great save by him.
20 seconds left in the period. 15 seconds left in the power play. Lindholm hard around, but it's kept in by Lyles. Alexander Semin battling for it, now goes behind the net. Skinner is after it there. Final seconds of the power play as Thompson reverses it away. Lindholm off the base of the dasher, kept in by Lyles. Final seconds of the period now. Semin puts it into the middle, out of the box is Kessler. The penalty has expired, and so has the first period.
Well, John Gibson was rock solid, made a couple of real nice stops. Here's one where he had to look around Sami Vatanen in order to spot that shot coming in. Managed to get a piece of it with the left hand. The Ducks not able to generate much offensively in that opening 20 minutes. They only allowed a couple of outnumbered attacks, so there's a little bit of improvement on the defensive side of the puck, but still not playing at the top of their game and unable to establish that consistent forecheck that Bruce Boudreau wants to see.
14 saves in the opening period for John Gibson as the Ducks are in North Carolina's capital city. No score through 20 minutes of play at PNC in Raleigh. Ducks making their way out onto the ice to start the second period here in Raleigh, North Carolina. No score after one period of play between Anaheim and the Canes. Before they made their way to the bench, our Ken French caught up with the coaching staff, specifically assistant coach Brad Lauer.
Johnny, thank you very much. Just 5 shots on net. What do you have to do to generate some more scoring chances on Cam Ward moving forward in this one?
Well, I think we got to start winning a little more battles down low. We got in their end a couple times, but we call it one and done. We got to get 2 guys on the puck. Our F3 is going to need closer support, and they collapse very low. So when that happens, we got to get pucks back to the point and get it to the net.
Brad, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Johnny, let's send it back up to you.
Thank you, Kent. The story of the opening period, 14 saves for John Gibson. We've talked a lot since he returned to the team a couple of days ago, Brian, about how little hockey he's played. Remember, he hurt his hip in that warm-up in Colorado on November the 1st. Then, after 6 weeks of rehab, he went to Norfolk of the American League. Told me he got strep throat there, and he lost 15 pounds in the process. He said, they put me on some antibiotics that I didn't know I was immune to, and it took a week or so to figure that out. And he said that slowed his recovery there. That's primarily the reason he's only played 11 games at the American League level, despite being down there for nearly the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's been a real tough season for John. But as we talked about, there's lots of hockey left this year, and an opportunity for him to start doing what he's been doing all his life, which has been to be the top goaltender, at virtually every level that he has played at.
Pretty much 2 months left in the regular season. Maybe just a smidge under that as Alexander Semin brings it out of the Carolina zone and leads it on the wing. Gerby hits the brakes, takes the shot. Lovejoy got enough of it to deflect it to the corner. Canes recover possession. Andre Nestrasil centering this line. He did not play at Honda Center 9 days ago either. And Canes grabbing him back in November off the waiver wire from the Detroit Red Wings, and he's been in and out of Bill Peters' lineup. Obviously, Peters very familiar with him coming out of the Red Wing organization. Andre Sekera, 9-year veteran, puts it behind the net. Gibson reverses it. Jordan Staal knocks it down for Sekera. Eric Staal steps in front, tries to angle it in off of Gibson, and then fires it across and through Talusti. Good job by Getzlaf, who drops down low to intercept the pass on the end boards, moves it right up the middle, and Fowler finds Perry. He gets the center red line and sends it deep. Now Ward stops it, looks around, reverses it, and gives it away. Perry put it right back through the crease before Ward could get there.
He threw it right into his feet. It actually went off the inside of one of his skates, and boy, he is very, very lucky. He played that a little bit too casually. It almost cost him.
Kessler battling Eric Staal. Puck stays in the Anaheim zone. Put back between the circles, and it's batted away by the glove of Lindholm. Now Talusti out of the corner. Gets it to the circle. Shoveled wide by Rask. Palmieri bumping in the corner. Rask is down low to get there. The rookie centerman serves it back. Shot never got through to Gibson, and now skips across where Bolesky will clear. Kessler at center, dumps it in. Palmieri bumping there with Gleason. Neither one of them gets to the puck, and the Canes clear it. Foot race for the puck. Elias Lindholm beaten to it by Clayton Stoner. Vatanen tried to reverse it to him, but it's kicked back by Lindholm. Kessler is there. Cuts to the middle of the ice and throws it for Jackman at center. Boy, he's hit hard by Gleason as he just got inside the blue line, but he bounces back up and plays on.
He's a tough customer. I tell you what, Tim Jackman, I can't believe he didn't get the wind completely knocked out
hard, didn't he? Wow. Thompson pinned to the boards, and down to the ice he goes as Brett Belmore comes over. Stoner back at his own line, covers up and plays it across. Vatanen ahead off the stick of Thompson, and Ward reaches out with his goal stick. Belmore hits the brakes as now the Ducks will change, and he'll throw a home run pass ahead at center. Off the stick of Malone all the way at the Anaheim line. Lovejoy collects it. Curls it up the middle, but that's off the mark as it was intended for Raquel, and icing the call.
It was a play where Ward went out behind the net, mishandled the puck. And Corey Perry just dumps it to the crease area, and it almost goes in off the left foot of the goaltender. Watch this as he's kind of stumbling back into the goal crease. Very, very fortunate. We were talking about the hit on Tim Jackman by Gleason. When players go right into the top of the boards like that, you know, their ribs are so vulnerable.
We didn't really see on that second look there, but he landed face down on the ice. Wasn't able to get his arms out to break the fall. There's Nestrasil in the slot, and he missed the net. He was trying to pick the far corner up high. Nestrasil has it again. Plays it across, but well off the mark for Lyles, who had jumped up. Alexander Semin across for Gleason. It's in his skates. He couldn't find it. And then as he does tap it ahead, it's Ricard Raquel who is able to clear the zone. Gerby's pass broken up by Raquel. Cogliano on it. And here come the Ducks. Silverberg backhands it in behind the net. Cogliano able to get to it. Keeps it alive for Raquel. His centering pass off a couple of Carolina sticks and out to the neutral zone. Lindholm wires it back in behind the net, and Ward is there to stop it. Not seeing Cam Ward play the puck a great deal, but he's stopping it along the end boards and setting it up for his D. Lindholm took away the stick of Semin in the neutral zone, so they waived the icing. And Beauchemin whips it into the middle of the ice. Getzlaf turns on the Jets. Into the Carolina zone, takes the shot. Sekera blocks it. Andre Sekera leads the Canes in blocked shots this season, and he got in the way of another one right there. Now Maroon being leaned on by Justin Falk. Kicked loose, and Falk comes away with it. The Canes all-star selection from last month moves it ahead. Jordan Staal strides after it into the Anaheim zone. Hampus Lindholm got in his way, but below the goal line, the Canes recover possession. Talusti will let Jordan Staal play it. Turns from a bad angle, got it towards the net. Ricochets across the zone. Just mucking and grinding. There's not a lot of set plays going on, not a lot of open ice out there. It's just puck battles all over the place.
Well, that's exactly what Brad Lauer was talking about. And in a game like this, you have to commit yourself to winning those puck battles in order to prevent chances and get a few of your own.
Ducks yet to author a shot on goal in this second period. We're 5.5 into it. Stoner got a rough ride from Skinner, but kept his balance to move the puck away. Vatanen at center, missing Bolesky at the blue line. They'll wave the icing. Bolesky gets to it behind the net. Defender fell down. He put it right into the goal crease. It ricochets back out. Here's Vatanen. He fumbles it for a moment. Stoner just keeps it deep. Off the back of the net, Palmieri tries to wrap it around on one knee as he stumbled over the back of the goal.
A good stop by Ward to get across to stuff Kyle Palmieri.
Elias Lindholm lofts it into the Anaheim zone. Vatanen turns to get it. He and Stoner bring it up ice. Off the boards, no passing angle. It goes off the stick of Falk and into the Carolina zone, however. He bumps with Jackman. Thompson supports and comes up with it. Throws it in front, tipped by Jackman, ends up in the corner. Tim Jackman has 3 goals in the last 11 games. 5 already on the season, which exceeds his total from a year ago. And it's nothing fancy, is it, Brian?
It's what I call blue paint work for Tim Jackman. It's get to the front of the net. He's not upset at all if one hits him in the rear end and goes in. I mean, that's the kind of player that he has to be in order to be effective. But, boy, you get a little depth offense from people like Jackman that takes the pressure off the big boys in games.
Dwyer out of the corner, trying to bring it to the front of the net. And Fowler came to the rescue, getting a piece of Dwyer's stick. It comes all the way back into Carolina ice. Gleason leads it ahead. Dwyer touches it along for Gerby. On his off wing, hits the brakes. Now carries on below the goal line. Nathan Gerby rifles a pass for Lyles, went off his skate. Nestrasil gets it to the net. Gibson says, why don't I hang on to this? And everybody can catch their breath. Still no score in Carolina. We're nearly halfway through the hockey game.
It's been the John Gibson show so far tonight. Rory composed, under control, had one even go off the inside of the shaft of the stick on. That was that Nestrasil shot. Here's the play where Tim Jackman gets to the front of the net. Ward has no problem with it. What I like about Jackman is, and then he says, oh, you know what, now I'm going to have some fun. I get to get in and hit one of the defensemen up against the boards in the corner. To be honest, there has not been a lot of fun surrounding this team in the last 4 or 5 days, John.
I think they'd like to forget about the state of Florida altogether. A couple of games in which they just got off to starts that put them behind the 8 ball. Not the case here tonight, as we're scoreless in the second period. And Belmore takes Cogliano to the corner and then ultimately to the ice. Raquel comes up with the puck, just throws it to the net. Deflected over top, it comes around to Hampus Lindholm at the near point. He uses the dasher. Raquel has to chase as it ricocheted off his stick. And back it comes to Jordan Staal. Staal measures his spot and then sends it in behind the net. Gibson forced to play it as Talusti pressured behind the goal. Boschma goes up the middle and Raquel able to clear the zone, but brought right back in by Victor Rask. Nice little move to get to the front of the net, and then against the grain, Eric Staal just missed.
What a move. He put it between the legs of Lindholm, and such a strong guy, gets a lot on the backhand shot.
Now Falk cannot settle a knuckling puck back at the point, and the Canes forced to get onside. They regroup back in their own zone. 10 goals on the year for Justin Falk. He's tied for the team lead in scoring with Eric Staal as he rims it around and in, then to the front of the net, and a great tip by Lindholm and a better save by Gibson. Well, the Ducks relying on their netminder a good bit here. Here comes Jeff Skinner. Boy, look at him skate backwards as fast as he comes into the zone forward. Now from behind the net he comes, turns to the forehand. Fought off by Gibson, rebound. And the wraparound denied on a great defensive play as Hampus Lindholm came to the rescue to deny Rask. Skinner just misses.
Boy, they are buzzing in the Duck zone.
Skinner lets it go again, and it deflects to the near post. Talusti is sent sprawling as he tries to convert, and a penalty coming up to the Ducks. Skinner again with a one-timer.
They just cleared the puck. They should have blown the whistle already.
And that's the discussion that's ongoing now as they finally do blow the whistle. John Gibson continuing to keep it scoreless, and they're going to need him in the next 2 minutes. The Ducks will be shorthanded when we return.
Range Rover Sport. Land Rover, above and beyond.
What could be better than Golden Corral's piping hot and delicious yeast rolls? How about 6 free yeast rolls to take home?
I like the sound of that.
That's right. Hurry in for our legendary dinner buffet for one low price and take home 6 free yeast rolls. They're world famous, baked fresh daily, and absolutely free.
Free. That works for me.
This deal won't last forever, so bring in the family and take home 6 free yeast rolls. Yup, that's how we roll. Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness.
He loved skiing and skateboarding, so young Tom Sims combined them, creating a whole new way down the mountain. Uncompromising creativity. It's also how Mazda made a crossover that combines nimble handling with outstanding fuel efficiency.
Second power play of the night for the Carolina Hurricanes. A slashing call to Hampus Lindholm at 9:09 of the second period. And Sekera starts from out of his own zone. He overleads his man, and it's tracked down in behind the goal, though, by Jordan Staal. Staal and Skinner both below the goal line. Now it comes to Semin. Across for Lyles, who fakes the shot. Now Skinner, and Gibson gets over. It's behind him, and I believe it's in the net. Yep, goal Carolina.
When the power play can move the puck laterally through the middle of the four-man penalty-killing box, you're in trouble. And that's what happened to Carolina. They really moved it around. Cross-ice pass to Skinner at the end of the play. It rolls off the right shoulder of John Gibson. And the puck's going to have enough momentum here to continue in behind him. He inadvertently knocks it back into his own net as he looked, tried to find it, couldn't find it, knew it was behind him. Jeff Skinner gets the goal.
And for Skinner, who led this team with 11 power play goals a season ago, I find it amazing, Brian. That's his first power play goal this season. Lyles will draw the primary assist. And halfway through the hockey game, we have a goal at last. Carolina offside. And on top, 1-0. Jeff Skinner has broken a scoreless tie in Raleigh. Career highs a season ago for Jeff Skinner. 33 goals, and 11 of them came on the power play. Just his 11th this year, and the first on the power play for Skinner. Former Calder Trophy winner, and kind of leveling off a little bit this season. At least it's been a healthy year for him. He's only missed 5 games. Of course, he's had concussion issues in his past as well.
He's a fun player to watch just because of that skating ability that he possesses that very few others in this league possess.
So the Ducks down a goal as Getzlaf. Stutter steps into the zone, tries to change speeds on Falk, but he takes the puck away. And back come the Canes. Eric Staal drops it off, and Talusti will find the trailer. Falk coming late, and he hammered it wide. Well, Falk can shoot the puck, and when he can step into it like that, it's different. He makes another pass, and a wonderful save by Gibson as he goes from his left to his right. Just a great play as he denied Talusti. Talusti's got to wonder what he's got to do tonight.
Well, it all starts back on the points for Carolina because the Anaheim forwards are not getting enough pressure on them. They're giving them time to make plays and to join in the fun offensively. Moments ago, I mean, here's a play, and look at the time and the space that the point men have to make a play. I mean, the Ducks are collapsing. The points are wide open, but they have time. They're able to move forward with possession of the puck, and that is a dangerous situation every time.
Shots in this second period are 10 and 2 in favor of the Canes. We're only 11 minutes into the period for a game total of 24-7 as the puck deflects into the Anaheim bench. And we'll update our American Honda 3-star leaderboard once again. 5 points to the player named as the number 1 star of the game, 3 to the number 2 star, and 1 to the 3-star. And then we keep track of it all year long. Frederick Anderson on the sidelines. And I believe Pat Maroon may have been hit by that puck.
Yeah.
when it went onto the Anaheim bench.
It was swatted into the bench, or kicked in, I wasn't sure, by Francois Beauchemin. It looked like it hit Pat Maroon right in the mouth.
Turnover in the neutral zone, and the Ducks counter back in. It's Bolesky, but his stick taken away by the back check of Lindholm. Rask rolls it in, and it goes right through Beauchemin. Skinner on him. He moves it quickly. The point covered, and it's kept in by Hainsey. Connecticut native Ron Hainsey's never played in a playoff game in his 12-year NHL career. If he stays with the Canes this year, chances are he won't play in one again until at least next season. Palmieri leads it out of the Anaheim zone. Room for Bolesky on left wing. Drops it off the wall. Hampus Lindholm curls it down low. Kessler out of the corner, puts it behind the net. Palmieri has it knifed off his stick by Victor Rask. Rask hoists it back to center ice, and then he got pounded. Been impressed with Rask. He hasn't necessarily been all that involved offensively, but he's a very responsible player. A rookie that has given them some flexibility in the middle here. Part of the reason Eric Staal now plays on the wing.
He's got good size. That's the thing that you really notice about him. And 42nd overall draft pick, so mid-second round pick.
Stoner tracks it down on the right boards in the Carolina zone. Feeds it down low, and Smith-Pelly can't get around the defender to get to it. Jabbed ahead by Brad Malone. And here comes Patrick Dwyer. Native of Spokane, Washington. He was raised in Great Falls, Montana. Behind the play, it's Gleason and Jackman, however, that are not playing a lot of defense. Gleason had his head down. Jackman went with some uppercuts, and they sling one another to the ice. A couple of veterans who weren't holding back.
Well, Tim Jackman was challenging. Gleason looked reluctant at first, but then he went right after him. He got the high stick up right there on Jackman. That's what Tim Jackman was upset about. They're having a conversation, exchanging slashes. And Tim Jackman didn't want to drop his gloves until he thought that Gleason was also going to oblige. And there were a few bombs being thrown in that little exchange.
So Jackman, who has moved into the top 10 in the league in penalty minutes, is going to add to that total. Came into the night with 79 minutes. His 8th fighting major of the season as he and Gleason will take a seat. 7:14 to go in the second period. And perhaps the collateral from Jackman is it might give the Ducks a bit of a spark here. Anaheim with only 8 shots on goal through the first 33 minutes of this hockey game. Cogliano had to get onside, then couldn't reach it at the line. And it skips across the neutral zone. Perry angles it for Rickard Rakell.
And we see Bruce Boudreau changing up the lines a little bit here. He gets Corey Perry away from Ryan Getzlaf, puts him with Rickard Rakell. We've been wondering about this move for a while.
Lyles with a long drive that's in the glove of John Gibson. Coming up next Sunday, the best drivers in the world push themselves and their cars to the limit. It's the 57th running of the Great American Race. Catch the Legends' last ride. Jeff Gordon begins his final year behind the wheel. The Daytona 500. Next Sunday at noon Eastern, only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, Jakob Silfverberg is going to play alongside Pat Maroon and Ryan Getzlaf now. And I think Boudreau's looking for a little bit more speed.
Canes control the draw in the Anaheim zone. Carolina on top 1-0. 6:25 to go in the second. Eric Staal gets it in front. And a great save on Talusti again by Gibson. Lovejoy steps into his man, allowing Silfverberg to lift it out of the zone. Yuri Talusti is going to see John Gibson in his sleep tonight. And this one deflects into the Carolina bench.
If not for Gibson, this game is getting out of hand. Point-blank opportunity, give and go, right on the doorstep. Gibson comes across, makes a terrific stop once again. Watch the challenge of the goaltender coming off the line. See how he moves out and he has forward momentum. He's shutting down those top corners and keeping those shoulders high. That's a good technical performance there by Gibson.
Face-off right at the center ice dot. 6:09 to play in the second. Final of a 9-day, 5-game road trip for the Ducks as they filter one all the way through, and Ward handles it. Now the forecheck gets going. Palmieri knifes it away, looking for Bolesky in front. It ends up behind the net, and Kessler comes from behind the goal. In front for Bolesky, and Ward made a good save.
He sure did. That time it was a quick little bid by Bolesky.
Puck batted back into the zone by the glove of Francois Beauchemin, so the Ducks couldn't play it next. They have to let the Canes touch it, and now Bellemare hit hard by Kessler as he works it out to center ice. Good job on the back check by Kessler as he knocks it away from Rask. And here comes Corey Perry into the Carolina zone, gets to the front of the net, goes backhand. Ward stayed with him, made the save, and the Ducks convert the rebound.
I think it's Bolesky who comes in late and picks up the loose change. Corey Perry aggressively attacking the goal crease. And Matt Bolesky, first of all, great defensive play by Kessler to start the rush. And now the Ducks, for one of the few times, have an odd-man attack. Beauchemin is there chopping away at it, but it's Bolesky who comes in later, who swats it into the back of the net. There's Beauchemin driving the lane, and Matt Bolesky just kind of chops it, and it has enough momentum to trickle over the goal line. Look at that puck.
It's going to be the 21st of the season for Matt Bolesky, and the Ducks have tied this game with 5:15 remaining now. It has been a very one-sided affair, but not if you look at the scoreboard. Malone just beat Smith Pelly to the puck at the Carolina line. We got ourselves a brand new hockey game. Falk moves it across. Fanning on it, that drew everybody offside for Carolina. As he rimmed it around and in was Malone, so that gives the Ducks time and space to bring it back. Stoner angles it ahead. Cogliano uses the boards. He got it in, but not by much, and Thompson couldn't recover it. Botman comes over as he beats Dwyer to the puck, and then he gets hit by Dwyer, but reversed it away. Stoner finds Cogliano. Rink wide, a lot of room for Smith Pelly. Joined by Thompson into the Carolina zone. Sekera blocks his bid. Thompson gets to it first. Cogliano looks around, keeps the cycle going. Devontae Smith Pelly trying to get there. Andrew Cogliano gave his man a shot, but the puck squirts to the middle of the ice, and the red-clad Canes come back the other way. Lovejoy jams it around. Maroon able to tap it ahead, and Bolesky gets it into the zone. Maroon tries to pick it loose out of the fray, and he does, taking it to the corner before Nestrasil leans on him. Back to the line, Fowler quickly getting it to the net, looking for a deflection. Got it from Getzlaf, but that sent the puck to the far corner. Hainsey converged upon. Silverberg is there, and Hainsey's got a hold of his stick and slings him to the ice. Play goes on. Ducks have yet to have a power play in this game. Carolina has had a pair. Getzlaf down low, tries to leave it for Fowler. Picked up behind the goal. Here's Gerby, a lot of room.
Oh boy, he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't
realize it.
Instead, he played it back to the point, now brings it out high, and his pass off of Jordan Staal. Sent ahead by Silverberg. Ducks at the end of a shift, however, so Silverberg is just going to try to get it deep while Anaheim changes. And now he finally succeeds. Clock approaching 3 minutes to go in the second period. Back come the Canes into the Anaheim zone. It's Talusti again, and a save by Gibson, who reels in the loose change. Well, it hasn't been pretty at times, and the goal, not necessarily a thing of beauty, but don't tell that to Matt Bolesky. We're tied at 1 in Carolina. Matt Bolesky moments ago with his 21st of the season, drawing the Ducks all square, but it's been the work of John Gibson tonight, Brian, in particular on Jiri Talusti.
Talusti, you remember he hit the crossbar in the opening period. Since then, it's been all John Gibson, but boy, he has had his chances. Mentioned that Jiri Talusti is one of the Hurricanes forwards that they have offered a contract extension to. He has rejected their initial offer, and so that makes him a candidate to be moved at the deadline. They're not going to let him walk. You can't. If you're not a playoff team, you cannot let any of your impending unrestricted free agents walk and not get something in return. So if that contract can't be worked out, he's going to be moved in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, fans often ask us, why did this player get traded or that player get traded? They're considered assets within the organization, and if you don't get something in return for an asset, oftentimes it comes back to haunt you. And a lot of teams around the league certainly find themselves in that position, not only at the trade deadline, but in off seasons as well, when players are going into the final years of their contracts. Lindholm did a nice job to keep that puck alive out of his feet, and then a swing and a miss on a poke check, and the Ducks score. It's Bolesky again. Well, Ward was his own worst enemy. He took a samurai swat at the side of the net, and he didn't get the puck. And then it was just laying at the top of the blue paint.
Yeah, sometimes you go fishing as a goaltender, and it ends up really costing you. Here's the swat you were talking about, but quite honestly, the defenseman, Belmore, has got to do a better job of clearing that puck. It wasn't Belmore, excuse me, it was Rask, the young centerman, right at the top of the goal crease. Puck's on his stick, and he stick handles with it. You never stick handle a puck if you're that close to your own net. You just shoot it as quickly as you can out of harm's way. Bolesky comes in, and all of a sudden the Ducks, shockingly, have got a 2-1 lead in this game.
Down to 2:15 to go in the second period. And it is a rather quiet PNC Arena here because it has been all Carolina. They've outshot the Ducks 28-11 to this point. We're told they have officially changed the initial Anaheim goal from Bolesky now to Francois Beauchemin. I'm not too sure about that. But Bolesky definitely has one tonight. I think he might have two, but as I said, it won't really matter much where the Ducks are concerned. What matters is they have a 2-1 lead, and Stoner sends it in. Ward stays put as Sekera is hit below the goal line. Brad Malone's pass into the middle, broken up by the reach of Perry, and Fowler has it at his own stripe. Lovejoy hinges it back to his defense partner. A lot of ice for Fowler. He turns on the Jets and lays it off for Cogliano. Long wrist shot in the glove of Cam Ward.
You know, just watching that last play, it's one of the few times that Cam Fowler has got the puck, moved it up the ice, become a factor on the rush. We've seen he and Lindholm do that sparingly. Sami Vatanen hasn't done it all game, John, not once. Joined to become the fourth man in. So it's been a conservative approach from the Ducks defense tonight. But I will say this: when you're getting a goaltending performance like they're getting from John Gibson, and they get a couple of goals, both of which kind of come out of nowhere, all of a sudden the confidence level gets boosted just a little bit. So we'll watch for that with Fowler and Lindholm and Vatanen and see if they are freed up a little bit more now that they're in a position where they have a lead in this game.
So they've changed the Ducks' first goal at 14:38. It's now Beauchemin from Bolesky and Perry. Incidentally, Corey Perry's 300th NHL assist. Congratulations to him as he closes in on 700 games played. A minute remains in the second period as the Ducks have taken a 2-1 lead in Carolina. Thompson pursues the puck clear, went off the corner glass, came right back to the front of the Canes net. Luckily for Cam Ward and Carolina, nothing but red standing there, so they get it deep the other way. Beauchemin shovels it along, and Silverberg is on it. Into the middle of the ice, joined by Nate Thompson. Across the line, has Lindholm with him, tries to get it to him. Boy, that went right up the stick of the defenseman. I think that hit Sekera in the face. Went right up his stick. Sekera is shaken up as he's going to go back to the Carolina bench. Meantime, play on as Talusti's turned away at the blue line. Canes change. Here comes Getzlaf. He's in. Great pass over. And Smith-Pelly looks to the heavens as it went off the heel of his stick.
Yeah, I think it actually goes off the toe. And Getzlaf, we know how hard he passes that puck. He drills it. And Devontae Smith-Pelly, boy, if he gets anything on that, he's got a wide-open net to tuck it home.
Getzlaf wins the puck down low. Under 10 seconds as Beauchemin angles it off the boards. Silverberg from behind the net. And the clock will expire with a good cycle going in the Carolina zone. A little frustration for Devontae Smith-Pelly, but more so for Carolina as they've given up a lead.
Watch his pass. Falk defending, the pass by Getzlaf perfect. Through that area that people call the triangle between the heel of the stick and the toe of the skate. A little bit too much juice on it for Devontae Smith-Pelly to hammer it home. But boy, oh boy, the Ducks have been outplayed for a significant amount of this game. But they get a couple of goals, and all of a sudden they started to play. All of a sudden their D started to get involved in the attack. They started to spend more time in the Carolina zone. So perhaps we are witnessing a little turnaround here from Anaheim.
Well, John Gibson's been doing yeoman's work in this area they call the triangle of North Carolina. Gritty, dirty goals around the goal crease. And once down 1-0, they now lead 2-1 after 2 in Carolina. Ducks on top 2-1 after 2 in Carolina. They got their first goal of the game at 14:38 of the second period. They have changed the goal to Francois Beauchemin, and we think we figured out why, Brian.
Well, this is actually the white tape. That's Francois Beauchemin's stick. And when Matt Bolesky slams this puck towards the net, it ramps up the stick of Francois Beauchemin. That's why it flipped up into the air and had enough just to bounce over the line. So, good catch by the off-ice officials here at PNC Center.
Fourth of the season. Bolesky still gets an assist, so instead of a 2-goal night, he has a goal and an assist. We've joked with Matt throughout the year about his Cy Young status on the team. He could use a helper every now and again. He's got 21 goals now. That's just his 9th assist of the year. And, of course, his teammates will have more fun with him with that than we will.
Yeah, 1 goal and 1 assist. That's he's sharing the wealth way too much all of a sudden.
Yeah. How does he expect to walk away with the hardware like that? 30-point season, 21 goals, both career highs for Matt Bolesky, who's having a whale of a season. His goal, incidentally, the go-ahead goal, as we're underway in the third, 2-1 Anaheim.
John, we have not mentioned as well that William Karlsson was returned to Norfolk of the American Hockey League.
Perry with a rolling puck, deflected by Ron Hainsey wide. Karlsson came up, appeared in that game at Washington, the second game of this road trip. Was with the team until he was sent back prior to tonight's game here in Carolina. Hainsey moves it cross ice, and then a pass intended for Talusti, but misses him at the blue line. Hampus Lindholm reverses it away. Outlet off the skate of Perry. He's careful as he falls to one knee to glove it and keep the puck out of the zone, and now it's served into the Carolina bench. Bolesky not making any friends on the Carolina pine with that one.
He hasn't made any friends so far in this game. He's got a couple of points to show for his handiwork. By the way, they are correctly changing the second Ducks goal to an unassisted goal by Matt Bolesky, because clearly Victor Rask had possession of that puck in the goal crease for a split second before Bolesky chipped it home.
Kessler wins the draw. Fowler sets up shot behind the net and then backhands it off the boards. Kyle Palmieri just clears the zone. Gleason ahead, and Rask on the backhand gets it in. Lovejoy sweeps it along the dasher. Gleason holds it in. John Michael Lyles just misses. It comes off. Oh, Gibson was looking the wrong way and trying to bank it in off of him was Lindholm. The other way, the Ducks go offside.
Point shots. I always thought at the beginning of periods as a goaltender, you had to be so alert on shots that just went wide of the net. There's an example of one. It banks off the back of the net. Gibson's not sure where it is. And so the strategy there for a goaltender is you get back inside the cage so that you cannot allow your opponent, to use your body in any way as kind of something that he can bounce the puck off of.
Nestrasil tips it deep into the Anaheim zone. And Stoner circles the goal. Semin falls coming from behind the net. Getzlaf gets it in. In case you're just joining us in the second period, Bruce Boudreau taking Corey Perry and separating him from Ryan Getzlaf. It's been Jacob Silverberg on the right on this line. Now it's Smith-Pelly on the left. As Stoner gets it to the net, blockered aside by Ward. It pops straight up in the air. And Falk, dangerously throws it in front of his own net. Getzlaf very nearly took it back. Andre Nestrasil sealed off on a nice defensive play by Botman. And Stoner puts it up on the glass and around. Maroon hit hard, unable to clear the zone. Brad Malone and Dwyer work it deep. Patrick Dwyer trying to get over Clayton Stoner, pucking the skates of Jackman. Buys a little time to reverse it to Stoner.
There was good patience there with Stoner. When the Canes just offside. Boy, that was a close play, but under pressure, the Ducks make a couple of consecutive good passes to exit the D zone and get away from that pressure.
Happy birthday greetings going to Mr. Doug Shearer tonight. A lot of people are saying who? Well, if you're around the team, you know him better as Sluggo, the Ducks equipment manager. Earlier in the day, I heard him tell someone 29. I guessed 41. We just don't know. But happy birthday to Sluggo.
You've always been really good at those guesses.
The best. I was only off by, about 10 years on Alex Cookie Gilchrist the other night?
You're like Karnak. That's who you remind me of.
Something like that. Slow rolling puck that Gibson will reel in and hang on to. Not yet 3 minutes into the third. Coming up tomorrow, tune in. It's an all-new episode of Ducks Weekly. This week, Ryan Getzlaf and his wife help a young fan who's dealing with a life-threatening illness. Ken French sits down with the Iron Man, Andrew Cogliano, and Francois Beauchemin talks with a real bull-riding cowboy at the Honda Center. It's tomorrow night at 10:30 only on Prime Ticket.
Defensive zone face-off. Ryan Kessler settles in for this one. Kessler's been the best for the Ducks. He won almost 70% of his draws through the first two periods tonight. So if there are more D-zone face-offs and Boudreau has the luxury of making a change, look for Kessler to get the call.
Canes keep it in, and a backhander pitched all the way from the line by Falk. And a little bit of traffic kept Gibson from seeing that one. Kessler taps it ahead, and it's Raquel who gets it deep. He'll pursue to the corner. Sekera spun around and still has the puck, keeping it away from Raquel. Here comes Cogliano to join the fray, and he comes away with it. Into the middle of the ice, unable to reach it is Raquel, and back comes Jeff Skinner. He has the Carolina goal tonight. Into the Anaheim zone, he misses on the short side. Raquel backhands it across. Gleason moves it up the wall. Tipped into the middle, Nestrasil. Caught on the back check by Fowler.
Wow, those are some quick feet.
Yeah, good patience, too. He looked like he wanted to take a swing with his stick, and then he realized that he could get there with his feet and then kick the puck up. And a dangerous play went for naught. Kessler has it poked off his stick by Semin. Followed up, Perry sends it across the neutral zone, and Bolesky swings and hammers it in. Kessler to the corner, tangled up with Gleason.
You see the difference when the goaltender can't stop a puck. I mean, the puck ends up in the corners. You have to battle for possession of the puck. Forces the D to make good plays, and it makes life tough for them to exit the zone with any kind of structure.
Get a whistle and a hand pass is the ruling here. As we go back and look at that play a moment ago that looked dangerous for a moment until Fowler turned on the Jets.
Well, he just uses his feet so well. A little kick up, controls the puck. You know, he's one of those guys that when he goes to cut, he seems to be able to accelerate out of a turn. It allows him to elude any kind of forechecking of pressure that's being applied.
Jordan Stahl controls the draw, and the Canes wind it around and in. Sekera kept it on the base of the dasher. Stahl is there. Lindholm took it back. Talusti, though, has it behind the goal. Yuri Talusti to the point, tipped away. Nice play by Smith-Pelly, who jumps around the defender. And here he goes, joined by Silverberg. He backhands it over, and coming back, Falk got his stick in the way.
Yeah, good skating there by Justin Falk. I mean, he was beaten on the play, made a beeline for the middle of the ice, made a good defensive play.
Silverberg crashing down low, unable to dislodge the puck, and Yuri Talusti sends it ahead. He overled his man, and Smith-Pelly will angle it right back in. Eric Stahl storms in on right wing on his backhand, forced behind the goal as Beauchemin stays with him. Now tries to pass it out, and Hainsey had activated from the point. The pass will go 200 feet the other way.
It was a good play by Beauchemin. He got an angle on Stahl. For a second there, I was expecting Eric Stahl to kind of tuck that puck inside and bring it right into the goal crease area, but Beauchemin got on his horse in a hurry, made a nice stop.
Good play by Jackman on the back check. He knocks it away. Now Maroon is careful with it, and it's dusted off by Fowler. Lovejoy draws two defenders and goes cross ice. Maroon had it tipped away. Jackman follows up to get it deep, and again Ward unable to play the puck. It was too slow as it came behind his net. Dwyer moves it along, and it comes out center. Botman rockets it back around and in. Brett Belmore plays it across. Just the second time Belmore's been in the Carolina lineup in the last 6 games. Ryan Murphy, a recent recall from the minors, injured his knee in Phoenix a couple of nights after the Canes were at Honda Center, and he's expected to miss the better part of another month before he'll be back.
They're a good-looking young defenseman, great skater.
Now Skinner plays it ahead and gets it back from Rask. A little two-man game into the Anaheim zone, but Rask can't handle the return pass and then deflects it over the glass and turns it into a souvenir. As it was after 2, it still is in the third, and Carolina 2-1 Anaheim. Take a look at tonight's Hyundai game summary. A slow start offensively for the Ducks, but the fort was held by that man, John Gibson, who continues to do that. Matt Bolesky has figured in both Anaheim goals, and Corey Perry with a milestone helper. It's 2-1 Ducks in the third.
And Matt Bolesky having a little chat with Yuri Tlusty. Tlusty spent those years with the Toronto Maple Leafs, came to Carolina.
One-time 20-goal scorer 2 seasons ago. He had 23 here with the Canes. Bolesky enjoying his first 20-goal campaign, including one here tonight, now with 21. Speed on the wing from Jordan Staal. Lets it go, fought off by Gibson. And the rebound cleared away by Hampus Lindholm. Up the wall, Tlusty intercepts, and then his pass a little behind Jordan Staal. Ducks bring it back, and Bolesky had his stick lifted at the moment of truth, but he keeps it in the zone as it comes back to him. Drives to the top of the circle, and it's off the blocker of Ward. Gets it back, trying to find Kessler behind the net, and crashes into Sekera. Bolesky, defended by 2 different Canes, got it in front. Owen Palmieri just couldn't drag it with him to the front of the net.
Yeah, good shift, good pressure by Kessler and by Bolesky there.
A fallen Ryan Kessler has the puck underneath him. From his knees, he hoists it up the glass and out. Ducks will be able to get changes as they wave the icing. Long way to go at PNC Arena. 12:10 remains in the third period. A thus far scoreless third period. All the scoring in this game came in the middle period. Nestrasil can't reach the pass at the line, and it's icing.
You know, we have not had a lot of icings in this game, and I think that's a testament to the fact that the passing has been very good. Even though Anaheim has not got much going offensively in this game, John, the passing tonight has actually been much better than we saw it in the previous 2 games against Florida and Tampa.
So Getzlaf to oppose Nestrasil off the icing call. And of course, Nestrasil can't be thrown from the circle here. And he wins the draw. Batted out of midair by Silverberg along the near wall, and as it's played next by Smith-Pelly, they rule it was played by a high stick. So we'll remind you to stay with us after the conclusion of this game tonight in Raleigh. It's Ducks Live is brought to you by Mazda. Kent French along with Brian Hayward. We'll hear from the Ducks players and Coach Bruce Boudreau from outside the locker room. Look ahead to a mini homestand. It just sounds nice to say home, doesn't it?
We'll be home for a little bit, John.
2 games, 6 days. The Ducks' next action comes on Sunday when they were home to host the Washington Capitals. That's when our next broadcast will emanate from.
And after the Washington game, Anaheim starts to play a little bit of Western Conference competition once again. And, you know, I love the last 20 games of the National Hockey League regular season, especially with what is going on in the West in the race for the wild card spots. I mean, there's literally 6 teams chasing after those final 2 wild card spots, and every game is going to be so intense in the last 20. It's going to be fun.
Here's Getzlaf trying to get around the corner on Jordan Staal, who angles him off. Getzlaf gets it back, walks in front, and his shot is blocked. And I believe we may have a penalty coming up here. I think a penalty against the Hurricanes.
Well, Ron Hainsey was all over Getzlaf. One of the Staal brothers was, but I think it's going to be, is it Belmore that's going to get the call here? There's Getzlaf in the corner. Yeah, he gets high stick there by Belmore before he releases that shot. Watch this. There's the reach and the slash and the chin. Because Getzlaf's a tough dude, though, isn't he? I mean, he just keeps going. Most guys fall. He didn't even fall on the ice. Most guys get ice stick like that, and they look like they've been shot.
Anaheim was 1 of 4 on the power play against the Canes at Honda Center 9 days ago. This is their first opportunity of the night. We're in the third. Raquel takes it off his skate, but he can't get it into the zone. He precedes the puck across the stripe, so it's offside.
Bill Peters' team in the last 20 games has only allowed 2 power play goals against. You mentioned the fact that they don't take a lot of penalties. They sure don't give up much on the power play. They've allowed the fewest power play goals against in the NHL. And 45 of the last 47. That's that 20-game span I was referencing.
It's a quarter of an NHL season to only allow 2 power play goals. And Lindholm denied entry at the blue line. He gets back onside. Palmieri is onside as he uses his gloves to stop it, sweeps it along, and it comes all the way to Falk at the far hash mark, and he gives it a push all the way back. The second-ranked penalty kill in the National Hockey League, possessed by the Carolina Hurricanes. And Kessler trying to carry it in, can't get through the wave of defenders, and again, the Canes force the Ducks to go 200 feet. Still over a minute of power play time remains. Boschma up the middle. Getzlaf put it on a tee at first for Perry, but he skated by. And the Ducks just can't even get through the neutral zone right now on this Carolina penalty kill. Fowler will skate it in. Hard around. Ward stays put. Waiting for it near corner. Hainsey reverses it, and the clear this time is right up the middle from Nathan Gerbe. Vatanen circles the goal. He's the power play goal scoring leader for the Ducks this season with 7. He hands it off to Fowler, who chips it in. And this a little better dump in as Ward can't come out to play it. Comes right to the front of the net. Getzlaf hands it off the post from Maroon. Now here's Fowler with a point-blank rebound. That's blocked away and cleared.
What an opportunity. That was Matt Bolesky in the slot who snapped that puck and had Ward beaten all the way. And he gets a huge break there, Johnny.
Lovejoy hard around and in as the power play down to 10 seconds. Perry drops it back. Lovejoy slides it over. Stoner gave it to Getzlaf, who gives it back. Stoner tees it up. That's tipped, and that's out of play with 1 second left in the power play.
And you see Bruce Boudreau with the 2-1 lead actually had Clayton Stoner with a rare power play opportunity. There was the shot by Bolesky. Boy, he was backing up on the play, and he still got all of it. And what a break for Cam Ward.
Now they've taken the second off of the penalty clock, so the power play is over, and we'll step aside halfway through the third in Carolina. Well, the Ducks lead 2-1, and it's Miller time. Is brought to you by Miller Lite. The goal that is the difference in the game is the source of tonight's Miller time.
Bolesky just comes in, but he reaches, and actually on the backhand side, just kind of shovels it. He takes advantage of the young centerman Rask, who doesn't get it out of harm's way. And Bolesky just says, thanks very much. Boy, he's been good again tonight, hasn't he?
Well, you think about, he could have a hat trick in this game. He just hit the post a moment ago. If his shot hadn't just barely ramped up off of Boschma's stick to start the game, I mean, he could have all 3 in this one. And he's been going very, very well, including tonight. He now has 11 points in his last 16 games. 6 of those are goals. He's tied for the league lead in game-winning goals with 7. And, of course, his goal to this point is the difference in the game. Palmieri gallops into the Carolina zone, and they rule that he was ahead of the puck, so offside.
Yeah, I don't agree with the offside call because the puck was caught up in the paraphernalia of Kyle Palmieri, and he was skating forward. It was in his midsection as he crossed the line. Kessler came in late, touched the puck as soon as he did. Linesman said no, offside. Too bad, because that would have been a scoring chance for Anaheim.
Incidentally, Kyle Palmieri is 3rd in the National Hockey League in shooting percentage this season. He's 20%. Of course, he missed the first 18 games of the season with that high ankle sprain. He doesn't have quite the body of work that some players around the league do. 11 goals on the year. And he swats it in on the backhand. The New Jersey native heads to the Anaheim bench for a change. Cogliano pursues. Tim Gleason, the Southfield, Michigan native, in a little bit of duress behind his own net. And he gets bailed out by John Michael Lyles. Boschma retreats into his own ice. Perry takes it off his skate and is able to get it across the blue line. Cogliano leaves it for Hampus Lindholm. And Ricard Raquel pushed across the blue line ahead of the play is offside.
Lindholm and Fowler have both been a little bit more active in the second half of this game in terms of getting up on the rush. Sami Vatanen, though, John, has been uncharacteristically quiet in terms of picking his spots. I can't think of a single time that he was up on the rush in this game, and that is certainly not what we have come to expect from...
Very un-Sammy-like.
Yeah. I mean, with 12 goals and 34 points on the season, Sammy has been playing it really safe in this game tonight.
For me, Brian, perhaps some of the best news in this game has been Hampus Lindholm's ability to have mobility. Remember, he had a lower body injury that forced him out of the lineup. He had an awkward fall in Tampa. That forced him out of the lineup 2 nights ago in Florida. And it's just good to have him back in the lineup and not be restricted. Puck rolls up the middle of the ice and back out center. Ron Hainsey back to get it for the Canes. Carolina goes on the road after this. Their next action is Saturday at Minnesota against the Wild. There's a lot of teams in the league finishing up their cross-conference play. Here's Kirby. Tries to set up Semin, and that's over top of the net. It comes around to Sekera at the point. Across for Belmore, quick puck movement, and Gerby has it on the half wall. It's Falk who takes the shot, blocked by Lovejoy in front. And Anaheim skates it back. Well, the Canes just don't give up the neutral zone easily, as Sekera didn't even go back to the red line before he swatted that one away.
Sekera in particular here, he's been good in this game. I've been very impressed with he and with Justin Falk, quite honestly, their mobility back there.
Well, Falk's been a revelation here in Carolina the last couple of seasons. Sekera gave it away, but Kessler just threw it to an empty slot. Jordan Staal, cross-corner dump, and Talusti trying to lift the stick of Palmieri. Loose changes there for Vatanen, who wires it hard around the boards. It hit the referee in the corner, though, and Stoner has to follow up. Game clock under 7. In Raleigh, 2-1 Ducks. As Eric Staal tries to wind it up in the neutral zone. And he's got some space into the Anaheim zone. Staal puts it through the feet of Stoner, who forces it behind the net.
Yeah, he kept his eyes right on the chest of Jordan Staal.
Eric Staal out of the corner, and his pass just out of the reach of John Michael Lyles, who has to come all the way back into his own zone after it. Ducks trying to roll the changes quickly here. Don't want to get caught. Gleason to Rask into the Anaheim zone. Victor Rask stood up along the near boards, pushes it to the corner. Lindholm walks in front. It comes back to Hainsey, who joins the play, still loose in front of the net. Trying to stuff it from behind with Skinner. He was trying to draw Gibson to the near side post. Hainsey holds it in, gives it to Rask. Cuts to the middle, saved by Gibson, and it sticks to the Anaheim netminder. One of the few times in the third that Carolina has had Anaheim hemmed in. The Ducks with a 1-goal lead.
Good look at Clayton Stoner, catching his breath over on the Ducks bench. A big gap there, and allowed Eric Staal to put a couple of moves on him, but Stoner did not bite. And then later on, the long bid by Rask just swallowed up by the body and shoulder protection of the goaltender Gibson.
First time in his career he's faced the Carolina Hurricanes. For John Gibson. Stoner, incidentally, now +5 in his last 10 games. Down to 5:40 to go. Stepping out from behind the net is Skinner, and hugging that far post was Gibson to deny. It's the two Staals and Jeff Skinner together now for Bill Peters' Canes, as he makes a little adjustment on his top line. Skinner has the only goal for Carolina. Ducks are going to be called for icing here. And, of course, the two big Staal brothers create a lot of defensive problems in the offensive zone.
Yeah, they sure do. Really good players along the boards, able to protect pucks, difficult to knock off of a puck. And then that's the strange thing. When you look at this Carolina team, you think, okay, obviously they lost Jordan Staal, but they don't have anywhere near the injuries, say, in Anaheim has had to deal with this season. Very few teams.
Oh, nice save by the right pad of Gibson on a high tip play. I think it was Gerby who got his stick on that shot from the blue line. And Gibson continues to keep the Ducks up a goal. Nestrasil, native of the Czech Republic, who played a couple of years in the Quebec League. brings it into the Anaheim zone from behind the net. Stoner's stick was hit by a high stick by Gerby, and he's a little uncomfortable as he tries to go back to the Anaheim bench. Boschma jumps over the boards, and Stoner has a couple of words for the referee as he is uncomfortable still at the end of the Anaheim bench. As he skated by, he was able to make a comment.
Well, Gerby
offside of the Canes.
Gerby thought he was going. I mean, there could be teeth missing over there for Clayton Stoner. And that's tough. I mean, the Ducks feel like in the last few games that they have had every high stick called against them. There's the redirect on the high tip by Gerby. No problem for Gibson there. Tip was from long range, so no problem. But you see Joe Huff over the shoulder of Clayton Stoner and making sure that he's okay. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when teams get
when
away
blood
with
is
that.
drawn and it's not seen by the officials.
It should have been a double minor penalty at least, and this game essentially would be all but over.
Yeah, the Ducks would have had a real opportunity to close the deal. Instead, the Canes still have a heartbeat, down 2-1, and over 4 to go, and Gibson steps out to deny Eric Stahl.
John Gibson's just razor sharp in this game, because here's a puck that looks like the Ducks are going to battle it along the wall, and then there's a giveaway. Stahl comes in and hammers it, but the fact that Gibson's position there is at the top of the goal crease is just an indication of how on top of his game he has been so far.
All time. And Bruce Boudreau's going to use his timeout here with 4:05 to go as he continues to cross some T's and dot some I's. Here's the Gerby high stick.
Yeah, I mean, that's right in front of the officials, staring right at it. And when you see Clayton Stoner react like that, and watch Gerby look back at him, and it looks like there's a fair bit of damage done to Clayton Stoner. Still being
to get
attended
repairs, yeah. And as Brad Watson, the referee, comes over now, he
watches
sharing his opinion.
I didn't say it, and Stoner's saying it's impossible for you not to miss that, Brad. I'm sorry.
Almost looked as if Watson was indicating to him, he slashed your stick, and then you knocked his stick up, and Stoner was going to have none of it. He may not be able to do a lot of talking based on part of the body they're working on right now, but he definitely, with body language, had a lot to say. Canes from behind the net. Here's a chance for Lindholm, and again, Gibson hugs the near post. And players strewn all over the near side of the Anaheim goal.
So here's what the Ducks have to deal with now in the defensive zone. Stop it right here, guys, and watch Ron Hainsey. And Hainsey's here coming into the middle, and watch what he does. A little bit of a pick down low. Right here. See the pick on Fowler? And that creates a little bit of an opportunity to walk to the front of the net. You have to fight through picks late in the game. It's coming in a one-goal game like this.
Another face-off win for Carolina, and Falk drives up the near boards. Lovejoy ties up Skinner behind the net. They have a hold of one another's sticks, and now he's able to jab it along, but up the boards, Sekera steps up to keep it alive. Smith-Pelly tries to go across the zone. It pops high in the air and comes out center. Getzlaf ran into the linesman in the neutral zone, but the Canes forced back into their own end. 3:25 to go. Now they turn it over. Here's a chance for Silverberg, and he fires over top. Getzlaf takes it away and takes it behind the net again as the captain working hard in the Carolina zone. Gives Sekera a shove. The loose puck comes to him, to Smith-Pelly. Big rebound for Getzlaf, and he couldn't get it on net.
Yeah, good effort by Getzlaf. Forecheck, creates some opportunities. We haven't seen a lot of those in this game, but a real good stop there by Cam Ward. Devontae Smith-Pelly got a lot on that shot. Goaltender was actually moving as it was released, but still managed to make the save.
Vatanen rolls it in. Anaheim's season low for shots on goal in a game is 20. In a game at Edmonton back on the 12th of December, they have 16 shots on goal here tonight, but they're more interested in the clock right now. With 2:35 to go, they lead 2-1. And they'd like to work on that clock a little more. If they can play in the Carolina zone, that's even better. Lobbed in, and Perry angling after it, but Lyles beats him to it. Tagliano in on the forecheck, forces him to reverse it back to Haynes. We'll keep an eye on Cam Ward if the score stays the same. Lindholm gets one through, and Ward keeps it a one-goal game. Back comes Talusti, joined by Nestrasil at the line. He curls it up the wall. Good job by Boschma, who just wouldn't give up the blue line. Bolesky pounces on it. Ahead for Palmieri from a bad angle, and Nestrasil got his stick in the way.
These last two shifts for Anaheim have been very good. They've continued to attack. They're not defending all the time, which is exactly what they want here.
Game clock down to 1:40 now as again Boschma steps up in the neutral zone. Ward to the bench. The net is empty. Carolina has 6 attackers on. Lovejoy uses the glass to clear. Canes try to bring it back in. Bolesky intercepted, but he couldn't connect with Silverberg. Falk sends it in. Deflected deep. And back comes Lovejoy after it. Around to Skinner from a bad angle, and that's gloved off by Gibson. Calm amongst the storm as he just grabs it off with the catching glove.
No, they have been here before. These Ducks have. They have been the master of one-goal games this year. 23 one-goal victories this season. They have yet to be defeated in regulation in a one-goal game. And so this is a team that seems to be able to, in the late stages of a game, protect those leads.
Bill Peters has exercised his timeout now, and they circle the wagons around Rod Brindamore, Carolina assistant coach, longtime Hurricane himself. And with the face-off forthcoming in the Anaheim zone, Cam Ward is going to stay on the end of the Carolina bench. 6 attackers in red. Ducks will no doubt have a couple of face-off options out there. Kessler and Getzlaf will both be on the ice for this draw to the right of John Gibson. 35 saves for Gibson so far tonight.
Clayton Stoner back out there, the big body sewn up and ready to go. Kessler's been great in the face-off circle.
He'll oppose Jordan Staal, who wins it. Falk slides it over, and a broken stick sends it wide of the mark. Back in front, blocked as it rolls between the circles and lifted out on a good play by Stoner. He was able to find the puck first. Puck dumped in off the back of the Anaheim net. Vatanen puts it up on the high glass. It gets away from Rask, and it hit him, so this will not be icing as we're down to under a minute to play. Kessler with some token forechecking. Now he'll retreat defensively as Rask skates it out of the Carolina zone. Up the left wing, he bounces it in. Hard around Boschma, that hits a skate. Centering attempt is blocked. Kessler gets to it, and he's able to muscle it out of the zone. And look at him hound the puck at center. Ryan Kessler knocked down. And we have a hooking penalty coming up here. Now, who's this going to go against?
Oh, boy, I think he's called Kessler for a hook.
I think you're right.
I mean, here's the play in the neutral zone. There's no call at this point, but then there's the pressure. I don't know. Boy, that is a tough call. Falk was going back for it. Ryan Kessler was lifting the stick. He wasn't pulling on the hands or anything.
32.3 seconds left, so now it's a 6-on-4.
And the faceoff comes deep into Anaheim territory. And
big draw here. Nate Thompson to oppose Jordan Staal. Thompson ties him up. It lays on the dot. Skinner steps in and pulls it back for Sekera. Skinner off the right wing half wall. To Staal. Nice pass in front between his legs, and his brother Jordan missed the net. Up the wall it comes to Falk. To the middle, he now hands it off. Semin. That's blocked and into the netting above the high glass with 14.6 left. And you can bet the Hurricanes will be lobbying for the officials to check the clock here. Watch this pass.
Here's the pass in front, and it was there for a split second. You're right. He got a little stick on it, did Clayton Stoner, and just tipped it wide. So now it's Ryan Getzlaf's turn to try and win a draw. Getzlaf has had a tough night in the face-off circle, but this is a big one.
He's been very good in the last 3 road games. He's 73%. He wins this one, and Vatanen angles it off the wall. It rolls back towards the empty Carolina net. It'll be pulled out of the blue paint, but now only 5 seconds left. Rask's pass deflects into the Anaheim zone. Stoner will skate it away, and Anaheim has a 500 road trip on a hard-fought 2-1 win tonight here in Carolina. And John Gibson, our Land Rover player of the game.
Well, there is no question about who the best Anaheim player was in this one. Matt Bolesky had a strong second half of this hockey game. But from start to finish, John Gibson was sensational. They needed him to be big, especially in the opening period where the Ducks were still wobbling. And Gibson got him through that period, and then a couple of offensive zone forechecking pressure type goals were enough to get the 2 points tonight. But Gibson absolutely sensational in this hockey game.
He gets his third win of the season, a 35-save effort, and as Matt Bolesky told us, now it's a happy flight home as the Ducks will return to Orange County with a 500 road trip. They win tonight here at PNC Arena 2-1 over the Hurricanes. Stay with us. Much more to come. Ducks Live is next.